Hey y'all. So in this video I want to share with you a bit about me, because many of you are new to me, so you need to know who I am if you're going to take in what I share. That's part of the ethics of being an influencer or a coach, whatever we want to call it, is you need to know the context of the person you're taking information from, so that you can make a consensual choice to bring that information into your world and use it for yourself. So I'm Marshall Bircher. I live in Boise, Idaho, and technically Nampa, which is a suburb now of Boise. I've been teaching this work for over 17 years. I was trained in a shamanic approach for emotional trauma healing and then relational systems by a man named Robert Wu Duan and Robert Bilton. And then I've gone on and trained in systems like EFT, the Sedona method, and then like the basics in somatic experiencing and the relational systems through like the Gottman Institute, fun things like that. NVC for nonviolent communication. And I've done a lot of study, and I've trained through like the PESI Institute and things like that. So technically I fall in the category of a coach. Now, I do this work because of my own challenge in exiting codependency. So my experience of codependency started obviously in my childhood. It's where most of ours start anyway. Started with that kind of traditional classic, narcissistic parental system, but also grew up in a narcissistic religious system where obedience equals love. And the whole point of existence is to prove to God that you deserve to exist and that you're worthy to return back to him. So it's this very, very narcissistic oriented system of proving yourself to the authority so that they'll love and accept you. And this, combined with particular traumatic experiences and abuses, shaped me into a people pleaser and into a perfectionist, and wired my attachment system into a fearful avoidant orientation. And when I went out and sought help, the first thing I was told is that I have a disease. I need to get into a 12-step program, and I need to start repenting and changing myself, because your codependency is harmful. It's harmful to people, and it's really selfish. You got to work that out. This damaged me deeply for a lot of years, because now I didn't know how to do anything else. Because when I did do something else, like I spoke up, I said no, I had a boundary, I asked for what I wanted, I shared my weird, wild self, I got attacked. I got shamed, I got put down, I got dismissed. Sometimes I got emotionally eviscerated, sometimes it was physical harm. So I had this double bind. Don't be codependent because you're being mean and toxic. Don't be yourself, because that's selfishness and you're going to pay for it. And so this turned me off to therapy. And this was the late 90s, early 2000s. So I went to find alternative sources, and I found them. That's how I met my first mentor, Robert Wu Duan. And in that journey, this is where I learned about the nervous system, the thing that's very, very popular now, right? We got this nervous system, and it's got reactions to the world. It's going to fight, it's going to flee, it's going to fawn, it's going to freeze. Nervous system. And then we got the attachment systems. Are we going to be secure, anxious, preoccupied, fearful, avoidant, dismissive, avoidant? A mix of them, because most people are at some level. And then we had codependency. So in 2012, I went through a really profound breakup that opened my eyes to how identity and behavior had been blended into the same thing in my world. And that when I separated them, who I am and how I behave, when I made those separate, codependency started making a lot more sense to me. Because now I could see and understand that I am not a codependent person. I have a codependent set of behaviors to handle relationships. Why do I have that set of behaviors? Where did that come from? And then I could look at my history and begin to really understand why I had this. It's like, oh, well, I didn't please the parent. I'm going to get it. If I'm not showing up in an obedient and loving way, I'm not going to even get attention or acknowledgement. Attention is one of our 10 core needs. Talk about being neglected if we're not getting regular warm attention, right? So I figured out really early on in my life, my nervous system figured out if I fawn, if I please and appease, I'm going to get some attention. I'm going to get a breadcrumb. And that set me up for really toxic, trauma-bonded relationships for a while. It also set me up to really avoid relationships because I didn't want to harm people, because I was being told that my needs were harmful. They were a burden. They were upsetting. While in turn, the parent was demanding that I regulate them. So I was parentified and smothered and engulfed by them for their emotional relationship or regulation, and to manage their relationship while being completely neglected in my own. This kind of very complex PTSD, complex experiences that we have, are why we develop codependency, guys. And when I understood that codependency was a set of behaviors and not an identity, but actually a nervous system reflex based on the fawn reflex, based on that comes from Pete Walker's complex PTSD work. When I started to understand and view it that way, things changed for me. Instead of being paralyzed by trying to fix my codependency, but also paralyzed by, don't be yourself, you're going to get harmed, I started to go, oh, both sides are wrong. Codependency isn't actually the issue, it's the symptom. It's the fever of the virus of this abuse that's been wired into me. And that's where things radically shifted. And that's why I teach codependency the way I do. It's not a disease, it's not your identity, it's not a flaw, it's not a character issue. It is a strategy you developed in order to survive. And it exists in the nervous system, it exists in your attachment system, and it exists in your attraction system, and thus it manifests as what I call relational identity. And that is, I'm a people pleaser, I'm a perfectionist, I'm a really nice person, and just accommodate everybody's bad behaviors. Sound familiar, right? That's my history. And so when I got into really healing it, and I got into nervous system work, regulation, discharging emotional charge from the nervous system, restoring felt sense safety through somatic processes, and I started to understand how identity plays into this, and discovering who we are and what real worth is, started to see a pattern with myself and with my clients at the time. So in codependency, we're seeking three things: safety, belonging, worth. And when we have a sense of emotional safety and well-being for ourselves, when we have a sense of belonging, support, and community, and when we have an independent sense of worth that's not contingent on external factors, we're not going to be codependent. We're going to be our own self-advocate. We're going to be in a healthy, assertive energy and identity. And that is what I started to discover and experience in myself. And that's what I saw happen in my students and in my clients that I was working with at the time. And that brings me to you today. My friends, you're not a codependent. You're a person that's used codependency to survive. You're not flawed. You're not too much. You're not too little. You're with incompatible people. You are in systems that were not designed for love, but they were designed for extraction. And now you can heal. Healing doesn't mean I fix myself. Healing means I outgrow this. I bring peace to the pain and to what I have been through. I bring gentleness and love to those things. And I discover who I am beyond this. Who I am beyond my codependency, beyond the people pleasing, beyond my past. And I'm here to walk that journey with you, because I'm doing it with you. The things I teach real time. I'm experiencing real time. I'm exploring real time. Things I share here on TikTok or on my YouTube channel, Facebook, my email, come from my lived experience, and then come from the lived experiences of people just like you. So that's why I do this work. That's a little bit about my history. I'll share more as we go along. Thank you for being here on my channel. Thank you for showing up, for giving me a bit of your time. And I look forward to seeing how you grow beyond your codependency and who you become without it. See you in our next video, guys.